Hi, Rich Karuba for bowlingball.com. Let's talk about how to roll a bowling strike. We know that you're a new bowler, you're just learning the game, or maybe you've been bowling for a while but you're starting to take the game seriously and you want to learn a little bit more about how to be successful. Strikes help you in that direction, don't they? Well, first of all, three things that you need to consider. You'll need to really understand the pocket location, where the ball impacts the pocket on the pin deck. An initial alignment procedure to help you line up on the approach to make your strike ball delivery. And then when the lanes change, you can make an alignment adjustment and do one sensibly. First of all, in the pocket location, the center of the pocket is on the 17.5 board. If we start counting these little 1-inch boards from the edge of the lane in toward the center of the lane, and that means if you're a right-handed bowler, the 1 and the 3 pin right in between evenly is where we consider it the pocket. And we recommend that you try to release your ball between an average velocity of 16 to 18 miles an hour. That means it might leave your hand around 19 to 21 miles an hour and hit the pins 16, 17, right in that area. If you can keep up good ball speed, you don't need to throw at supersonic speed because that doesn't make the pins deflect very predictably. But on the other hand, throwing the ball too slow will not help you either. And then, of course, when you start hitting the pocket, your ball's going to get there with maybe a 6-degree angle of entry, but an overall 30-degree angle of impact, something like that if you throw a modest hook ball. And the 30 degrees comes from the angle you throw the ball out, and then it turns back into the pocket. The angle of entry is once the ball starts from the back end of the lane, starts moving toward the pins. It's a very slight angle of entry because the ball doesn't travel very far once it gets on the back end of the lane, on the dry portion of the lane. Next, the initial alignment. We like to see you use the second arrow to start with, and the reason is most proprietors and their maintenance teams try to have the greatest buildup of oil on both sides of the lane from the second arrow toward the center. On most USBC red patterns, those are called house conditions. Most of the time, the scores are pretty high, the centers are pretty high scoring. They put a lot of oil in the center of the lane to keep your ball from hooking too much across the lane, and the outer edges of the lane are a little bit drier, so you get some friction. If you miss your target, your intended target, the ball will recover and end up in the pocket. So if you have the right initial alignment, you have a consistent approach and a fairly consistent delivery, you can be pretty consistent, I keep using that word, to get to the pocket over and over again. So you might want to make sure that you start with your sliding foot aligned on the center dot and end up in the same place when you bowl. Use the second arrow, and that's if you're a down and in player with just a slight hook. You might have to adjust to create a more wider angle across the lane slightly if you hook the ball more than just a slight bit. And so it depends on your delivery system. But getting aligned to the pocket means learning if that isn't quite the alignment you need playing the second arrow and you need to be further toward the edge of the lane or more toward the center of the lane where there's more oil, then you need to learn to make an adjustment system. And there's one that's very commonly accepted. It's a proven and tested theory over the years called a parallel adjustment system. You move your feet and your target the same direction. So if you move your feet 2 boards, move your target on the lane half as much 1 board, 2 and 1. That automatically adjusts your angle of entry from the delivery angle when you release the ball toward your target near the arrows, and then as the ball continues down the lane to the break point. And if you need to continue, you can make multiple adjustments of 2 and 1. There are other adjustments. You can do 1 and 1, 3 and 1, depending on the lanes and the lane condition, how much you hook the ball. And this is typically for the house condition lane pattern, okay? Now, those type of adjustments will work. Typically, if you're missing the head pin by its hooking too sharply or lined up and the ball's getting into the dry boards too soon and grabbing the high friction part of the lane too quickly and hooking before you want it to, then you might want to start making your 2 and 1 adjustments toward the center of the lane. And conversely, if the ball is skidding too far and you're missing the head pin or just barely coming in behind it too late, 2 and 1 to the right, and of course multiple adjustments of 2 and 1 until you get just the right angle down the lane to hit the pocket consistently. Hitting the pocket consistently gives you the best chance at throwing a strike. You can get strikes by random, by hitting the head pin right on the nose or crossing over, or getting a lucky domino effect where the pins come back out of the pit and knock pins over. But most consistently, you got to try to bowl like the pros do if you want to score much higher and approach the way the pros score. And so those are some things that beginner bowlers or people looking to improve their game that are just really taking it seriously for the first time need to think about. And we always recommend you see a certified coach here at bowlingball.com. We ask you to go see a certified coach, take a lesson. You'll be surprised how inexpensive it can be, and work on your physical game fundamentals. Learn how to line up on the lane, how to hit the pocket consistently, and you'll start seeing those strikes come much more often. Hope this helps. Thank you.